who do you trust the most in the AFC? I know I'm a homer, but it's like I trust the Bills the most, not because of their defense, not because of their receiving core, but because they have an alien playing quarterback. And Josh Allen, I mean, do you trust anybody else in the AFC that's in the playoff picture more than him at the quarterback position right now? Welcome to another edition of Fitz and Whit. I'm Fitz. This is Whit, and I'm officially a bestie, Whit.
You are.
I am. I'm loving it. This is a Wave original. Subscribe on YouTube wherever you get your podcast, and don't forget to give us 5 stars. Follow the show on social media at Fitz and Whit. That's Fitz, A-N-D, Whit. New episodes every Wednesday. I'll be wearing my vest. And we have a big one this week, Whit. Let's tell the people what we have on deck.
Yes, we do. You're a vestie and everybody's favorite bear, that's for sure. As always, we're going to get to take you through another wild week of NFL action. We're going to look at some of the tight division races. Things are getting hot and spicy here in the playoff finale. I can't wait to see who's going to make it and who's not. Plus, we're going to talk a little bit about seeing the changing of the guard with some of the former front runners finding themselves outside of the playoffs right now.
Let's talk about the AFC South just real quick. I'm just looking at Jacksonville's remaining schedule, and it's like they're playing the Jets, then they're at Denver, at Indy, and they're playing Tennessee. Oh, I feel so bad for Daniel Jones. And
man, dude,
we remember they started the season 7-1. You know, they've had a little bit of a tough stretch here, and then he had the fractured fibula he was playing on. This season meant so much to him. He was playing so well, and you could just tell when pretty much right away he knew, that it was an Achilles, and he starts slamming his helmet on the ground, and you could feel the frustration and how much this season and leading this team really meant to him. But unfortunately, I think with that injury, the Colts probably have to kiss their season and playoff hopes goodbye. They've got just to finish the year here. They've lost their last 3, but they're at Seattle. They play the Niners, they play the Jags, and then they're at Houston, which is going to be a tough finishing stretch for them.
Yeah, I had them going into this weekend just like, realistically, how good all these teams are, they could not win a game. They're going to have to play. And my point was just that they're going to have to play really good football to win any of these games. And then now, with his injury, you're probably right. That's it. But man, it was heartbreaking. You could see the emotion the second he knew it, and he knew, probably their season and what it might mean for his offseason, trying to figure out what's next in his career. Man, it's just heartbreaking to see. And I know he's devastated, but they say a lot of the time, you think of him dealing with that other leg and the injury, you start to put pressure somewhere, right? Because that's inevitably what we do, using our bodies, all the power and force it takes to generate playing out there on that football field. You probably put more pressure somewhere else, and somewhere else has to carry the load of that. And something like that happens, him probably dealing with an injury on his other foot, probably pushing off more than usual, and something crazy like that happens. And man, it's just got to be extremely frustrating when you're playing through one injury to be out there on the field, being that leader for your football team, and something like that happens, man, just crushes you.
And so now I just wonder, I don't know what the tiebreakers are, but Houston has Arizona, Vegas.
Fitz, you're looking better every week, baby. You're looking better.
And Indianapolis left, but I think now it's obviously a 2-team race there to see who's going to win the AFC South. But Houston's been on a run, man. It's been really impressive. 5 wins in a row. And I still, this is the thing that we keep harping on, but it's like we still need to see a little bit more out of CJ Stroud. I think he had 3 completions in the second half. He had one of the completions was unbelievable, but it's like to be able to play in rhythm from the pocket. It's just weird how sometimes it goes well and he's seeing it the right way, or they're calling the right plays, and then other times it just looks like an absolute mess for them on offense. But it's just how good this defense is right now and how good this defense is playing.
Dude, they're unbelievable. I mean, playing those 2 ends every week, every week, those tackles have got to be absolutely miserable, because it's not just a lot of, when you're playing a great player like a Will Anderson Jr., or you're playing a great player like Danielle Hunter, you're thinking, hey man, like the other side's going to be all right. And I just got to survive against this guy as much as I can and try to play my most efficient football all I can, and we'll be all right, but to have one on each side, and it's like, man, it's unfreaking believable how good they are. And then you mix in what they can do in the interior as well. It is a nightmare as an offensive line to have to face this group if you're in a game where you've got to throw it. And I think that's why it's so key. If the Texans can be more efficient on offense, and like you said, just get a little more out of CJ Stroud. Like, I just want to see a little more just efficient offensive football, like down in and down out. God, they're going to be a tough team to beat. I mean, they just really are. And so I think as you see the run game and Woody Marks kind of growing a little bit, like, you get excited about who they are. I mean, I personally think when they started 0-3, you did this just in spite of my NFL records that I would list all the statistics of what the percentages are. I think you just did this as bullshit to be like, well, I'm going to pick a team that has 0% chance and I'm going to say they're going to make it. But now you're looking really smart in this deal. So when you look at the AFC South, though, I think this is going to be a fun finish. I think Jacksonville, Liam Coen does have those dudes playing. I think that the relationship there seems to be getting better and better with him and Trevor Lawrence. They're a football team that when you think of how Liam calls a game, they could survive against the Texans because he's going to move that pocket. He's going to keep Trevor. You're not going to be able to just pick and choose where he's going to be. He's going to call a game similar to what Sean McVay used to do in LA when they play the San Francisco 49ers, talking about Arik Armstead and this Jacksonville D line. So you're going to have to change the launch point up a little bit, and they got some dudes. So it'll be interested to see if it comes down to it, what this division will look like at the end.
Yeah. And then you just start looking at the landscape of the AFC in general and the playoff picture. And it's like the talk the last few years was how dominant the AFC was over the NFC in terms of quarterbacks. And we've got Joe Burrow out of the playoffs right now, Patrick Mahomes out of the playoffs right now, Lamar Jackson out of the playoffs right now. So it's like if we're looking at those playoff teams and the landscape of the AFC, I mean, to me, and I think we saw a great example of this on Sunday, is like, who do you trust the most in the AFC? I know I'm a homer, but it's like I trust the Bills the most, not because of their defense, not because of their receiving core, but because they have an alien playing quarterback. And their defense stepped up and made some huge plays in that game to have the Benford interception pick six and then the deflection that Epinesa picked off on Burrow. But Josh Allen, I mean, do you trust anybody else in the AFC that's in the playoff picture more than him at the quarterback position right now?
I don't, but Drake May has been playing his absolute butt off. And yeah. That one's tough for me because the reality is most likely that game, if it's played, is going to have to be in New England. And I think that plays a little bit of a disadvantage to Buffalo because they have struggled really. Joey Bosa has had some production, but not really in those situations. Go on the road, beat New England in New England. They're going to have to slow them down. And I think you're going to live in a world where their pass rush is going to be a little better because they're at home, which, Vrabel's going to have a plan for how he's going to think he's going to contain Josh. I think that's going to be the big challenge, and they'll probably run the football like crazy and try and ball possession a little bit. So to me, I still trust the New England Patriots that they're a really good football team. The Broncos, it just blows me away. Like how good they are on defense, how good they are in general, just the talent. We had Garrett Bowles on the pod, like how good that offensive line is. Man, that again, a second time with the Raiders, I expected just complete dominance. And that's how good of a team talent-wise they are, and it's just not there. And that's what worries me is that you can live in this regular season world of just playing these games like this, but in the playoffs, we got to see more. And right now, I just don't see them as that team. You're the one seed. I want to see some version of dominance. I want to see Rams, Cardinals yesterday, or Seahawks, Falcons, those games. I want to see those kind of games out of you, and we just haven't really seen any of that from the Denver Broncos. And that's what really concerns me in the AFC. I truly believe, and I've said this for the last 6-7 weeks, I think this is one of those years where hottest team in the AFC wins the AFC. Like, I don't care what the record is, what it looks like, where the games are played, who's the hottest team when we line it up for the first week of the playoffs, and who gets on a roll and is playing with confidence, they're going to have a chance to win the AFC. I don't care what anybody's record is.
But I do. The thing that was funny to watch from the Houston game too, which they are as hot as can be right now, especially on defense, was they put the Kansas City Chiefs remaining schedule up, and they're favored in the last 4 games, and they're playing, the Broncos, and they're playing some teams where you're like, should they be favored? But this is potentially the end. It's the end of them winning the AFC West. That can't happen anymore. But to have a playoff where we don't see the Chiefs is just it's gonna be a weird feel. And I'm not even gonna put that out there yet, because until they're actually dead,
as soon as we do it,
yeah, you got to cut the snake's head off. And I don't think they're dead yet, so I'm not going to talk about it. But for Amazon's
in our case,
sake,
we might want to dismember the whole body. I mean,
but we're really.
Everything.
I'm in a weird position right now, okay? Because I don't want to see the Chiefs in the playoffs, and I don't think any AFC team wants to see the Chiefs in the playoffs. But I also work for Amazon, and our Christmas game on Thursday night, we need the Chiefs to still be relevant against the Broncos, because that was one of those at the beginning of the year we circled and thought, gosh, if the Broncos can just be relevant at that point. And no way we ever thought the Chiefs. But it was heartbreaking to see, that last kind of, it was behind Travis, it popped up in the air, but just the emotion of these guys, they've been fighting the last 5 or 6 weeks. Chris Jones came out. He knew that was a must-win for them by the way that he was playing with his hair on fire. But it's sad to see that we might be at the end of seeing this dynasty, this AFC dominating team this year.
Yeah, and they're an unbelievable group with some really special players. And, it might look a little different if they don't make the playoffs next year, but I got a feeling they're going to be right back in this thing. They have a chance to finish this year out and get themselves in it, and we're going to all look dumb again for ruling them out, because they're going to get in and beat somebody they shouldn't, and next thing you know, here we go. But man, what a special group. I mean, regardless of how it goes, I mean, just, hats off, respect, whatever you want to say, salute. Like, what a special run this has been either way, even without them winning the division this year. In absolutely incredible football and incredible leadership by Andy Reid and what he does every week, man. Getting these guys in a position to win is special. And let me ask you this one, Fitz, on the AFC North. Do you feel any better about either one of, like, I don't even, I literally, I'm like, I have no idea what happened. I don't even know what the Ravens-Steelers game was. Like, it was just like, I don't know if this is good, bad, and different. I don't know if I feel better or worse. Like, Tomlin was getting fired 2 days ago. Now they're winning, and Aaron's like, shut up about our coach. And it's like, yeah, it's just, I don't know. I don't know that I gained any confidence out of watching that football game.
No, I've won at every game. It's like, all right, this is the game that the Ravens are going to be back. This is the game. Here comes Lamar and the offense. They're going to wake up. This is it. And it still is not happening. So it's like, AFC North, we're going to see somebody get in and somebody lose in the first round probably, which is now very similar to on the NFC side. It's like when we look at the NFC South, are you excited about anybody, or like, where are we with that one? Because again, we get our schedule on Amazon beginning of the year, and you start circling stuff. And I got really excited when we were going to Tampa in December. I think we're all excited to go to Florida in December. The old stomping ground. Sherman and I both played there. Maybe get some fishing in. But then it was like, Atlanta, they're still going to be relevant. This is going to be. This is it. This is going to be the game to see who's going to take the lead in the NFC South. And it just hasn't played out that way. But hats off to Carolina for the season they put together, but they're also one which team's going to show up. I saw them in San Francisco a couple weeks ago, and they didn't show up. And then you were, all over the Rams, and then all of a sudden they knock off the hottest team in football in the Rams. I don't know who the Carolina Panthers are, other than they can run the football. They've got a stud at receiver that sometimes they throw to and sometimes they don't. And it's just a high rate of variability of which team is going to show up on offense every week.
Yeah, and I think they got beat by 2 scores by the Saints a couple weeks ago as well. So, like, it's like I have no idea who they are, but there is some things you love when you watch them on tape, and there is some things you go, there's some players that you're like, man, you could build around this guy. And you think even the season like Derrick Brown was having, like, on their D-line front, and then how the offensive line has battled through injuries but continues to go out there and compete. And the way they played against the Rams, talking to people in that building, they were really impressed with how that group played, and maybe the best game of the year for Bryce Young. And now it's like, all right, you got this bye week. Is there something they built where they could go make a run? Because if you're Carolina and you're Canellis, you're sitting there saying, listen, guys, regardless of how the season's gone. We are right here in the middle of this thing. We have an opportunity to go win this division. Like, whatever you think about us, whatever the national narrative is, who cares? We go play our best football these next 4 weeks, we can win this division. And I look at Tampa, New Orleans, and Atlanta, and you're just, like everything. And you think of Atlanta, man, I can't figure it out. There's a lot of really talented players over there, and they just, for whatever reason, don't seem to like play their best when they're needed to. And like in the big moments that you need them to make a play, they don't. You got the injury to Penix now. And then in Tampa's case, I mean, I'm mad at them for a lot of reasons. One, I lost in our survival pool this week, Fitz. I'm officially out. I picked Tampa. I made it all the way to the end here. The last couple people still alive. Tampa, I'm mad at you right now, but I'm with you. I actually was excited about this game for a lot of reasons. One, I love going to places you've played because it's always a lot of fun just to see the impact you've had, and I get to kind of join in the festivities a little bit. And then also, like, a lot of dudes I have a great relationship with, from Baker and some of the guys there on the Bucs team, and even a former coach of mine as well. Like, you just kind of, you look forward to those weeks. And then in Atlanta, like, my relationship with Randy Morris, won a Super Bowl together, Zach Robinson, I think Kirk, and just a lot of the guys on that team as well. And it's like, now you're like going here, and it's the worst when we have these games and everybody's coming off of a loss, and you're like, oh man, I don't want to bother anybody now. I don't want to talk to anybody because I just want to stay out of the way, let you guys focus on the game. But man, this division, I think I put it probably in the category the same as the AFC North. Whoever wins it, we probably see a week 1 exit in the playoffs, and that's really the end of the story.
Yeah, and I just wonder, with all the injuries that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have had, we're hoping that Mike Evans is back this game. They opened his practice window last week, I think, and Godwin, was hurt for a majority of the season, but is finally starting to look like himself again. But one of the big things with the Bucs is the struggle on third down this year. And they're a different offense when Bucky Irving is in there, the explosive player, playmaker. But you saw this, and you've seen it in Philly too, where it's like you have so much success, and then every year you lose your coordinator and he gets a bigger job. Steichen and Kellen Moore, and so you're constantly having to replace. And the Eagles replaced in-house with Kevin Patullo. And Tampa Bay, what'd they do? They lost Canales to Carolina to a head coaching job. Then they lost Liam Coen to the Jaguars, a head coaching job. And now you replace in-house. And it just, this year it seems like, to me, it's hard to figure out. We've got a new play caller, but we've got a ton of injuries. We've got all these different things going on.
And really all over the place too, right, Fitz? I mean, that's probably the most challenging if you're a play caller, right? You think of Tristan Wirfs missed to start the season, and then he's been in and out a little bit here. The right tackle's been in and out. Like, they've missed some guys up front. They've missed skill guys. They've missed running backs. Like, I think of it as like, if you're the guy dialing up the plays, it's not like, oh man, we missed our number one receiver for this many weeks and that was it, or whatever. It's like, man, there's been spots all over the field as I'm trying to put together a plan. It's like, it's always changing who I can emphasize and who I can lean on, and like what part of us is who their center was playing left tackle for a big start of the season. Like, it's like, to me, that's got to be the most challenging part. Your first year doing it, we've been changing coordinators a bunch, and then it's like, it's every chair, every week, we're trying to figure out which one of them's got somebody sitting in it that we can rely on. I think that's got to be a challenge. I think it's probably a little more emphasis probably, and he's going to catch more, Grizzard's going to catch more heat for this than really probably deserved, just because it's like, man, that had to be a really hard opportunity your first year calling plays, having this situation.
But it is like, when you have a first year play caller like Josh Grizzard, like, you have to learn on the job. You have to learn, like, trial by fire. It's the same thing when you have these young quarterbacks, and there's no better way to do it than to actually go out there and have to call plays. But you're right, the offense that he thought he'd be calling plays for in week 1 has looked a lot different every week. And that's, the great play callers, that's what they do. They find a way and figure it out, but that also comes with experience. And so I can't wait to get a chance to talk to him this week before the game, just to see, how the year's gone. And I know it's, coaching is a very stressful profession, and there's a reason why they all have gray hair and the hours they work. And I'm not sure that the common fan knows like how much time these guys put into this and how much it just consumes their lives, and not just for the season either, but year round.
Yep.
It's a tough profession. And
if it's going bad, impacts their life as well. I mean, right?
It's certain eggs getting thrown at your house and all the other things, but it's one of those things like you're either winning, which means it's going well, or you're losing, which means it's going bad. And there's no gray area and there's no in between. But I think what we're going to do when we get to Tampa, would love to get out on the water, take you fishing a little bit, see if we can catch some redfish, maybe some sheep's head. We'll see what the bite is like. Maybe we can even get a cobia. Do you know what a cobia is, Whit?
I think I've caught a cobia before once.
So the first time
I don't know much about fishing, but
so the first time I ever caught a cobia, I didn't know what it was, and I thought it was a shark. And my resident master fisherman when I was in Tampa was Brian Anger, who was the punter now in Dallas, who we just saw.
Yeah.
And so I was with my kids, and I think I have a shark on the line. And so I'm calling Brian. I'm FaceTiming him when I'm out there in the water in the bay going, dude, what do I do? I've got a shark on my line. And he's like, okay, show me what it looks like. How big is it? And so I'm trying to pull it out. Well, yeah, the fish, not my. I'm trying to pull it out of the water to show him. And he said, dude, that's a cobia. Like, you're going to be just fine. Stop freaking out. But the reason I was freaking out was because one of my daughters, I won't say which so we don't embarrass her, had walked off the back of the boat to go to the bathroom as I'm reeling this fish in. And I thought it was, whatever fish it was. And then when I thought it was a shark and she's in the water, it was like pure panic. So she gets back in the boat. We pull up the cobia, properly identify it. And that is a fun fish to catch. So that's one of the ones I want to try to get with you.
Well, I got to ask you, let's finish this. We've done NFC South. NFC West, I mean, is Rams Seahawks is turning into, I'm sitting there watching the Seahawks play yesterday and I'm like, dude, this team might be in the Super Bowl. Like, holy crap, dude, they're good.
Defensively, defensively, they're unbelievable. And I loved what you love about that team too. They are not as consistent as the Rams are on offense. No chance, but their defense is so good that first half they kept him in the game. It was like, okay, come on, offense, let's go. Yeah. And Rashid Shaheed takes back the kickoff, and then their offense wakes up, and Sam wakes up and looks like a different player. Man, they are, and somehow they got to still find a way to get Rashid Shaheed more involved in the pass game, I think. But JSN is special. The connection they have, that defense is absurd. And it was good to see the Rams get back to, after that Carolina loss, of let's just take care of business. We're dominant. We're better than this team. And it was like, Puka, it's just every catch that Puka makes is unbelievable. He's so freaking physical, and hopefully he's health-wise, he's fine, but just got to take a back seat and chill and watch the end of that game. Stafford put the old ball cap on. Got to see Garoppolo hand it off a few times, but their run game right now is very impressive as well.
Ooh, Blake Corum has really come on. I mean, you think of Kyron, what Kyron's been to them, and then now to have Blake in the fold. I mean, I think that's going to be a big part of probably their answer. If you look at it, even early in the game against Seattle last time, right, is their ability to run the football. And I think, to me, when you look at the game the last time, really in the second half, I thought Seattle did a much better job of stopping the run and being effective in some of those critical downs, beating the tight ends up. And I think that was kind of something that, didn't get talked about as much because of just how good the game was and all the theatrics that came down to the field goal. Is really, where did they win some in that second half? And to me, it was that. And so that, to me, is the big thing I'm looking forward to our game, is when we get into these 13 personnels and we get multiple tight ends on the field, can we handle the edges like they've been able to handle other teams? Because that's where Seattle really won some matchups last time in the run game, because this run game is special, and this is the most Sean McVay's ever played 13 in his freaking coaching career. He's found something there, and it's funny because we just talked about Josh Richard, and you have to find things. Remember how this all came about? Puka got injured, and all of a sudden it's like, all right, we got Devontae. who do we want to put on the field? Well, let's go put more tight ends on the field because we kind of trust them and we kind of feel good about the matchups they create. And that's where all this kind of started. And that's where we started to lean on it. So to your point earlier, it's about you have to find ways to find what your best personnel group is and build something around them. And that's what they've been able to do. So I think it's going to be really exciting. This one's freaking, the Rams got another big one, the Lions this week. This is going to be a sick finish in the NFC West. And the wild part is we're not even talking about the San Francisco 49ers, who, in my opinion, I'm like, dude, I kind of want Fred Warner and Bosa back because this team is unreal. And I just can't imagine if they had their guys on defense, the NFC West might have the 3 best teams in the NFL, regardless of what conference or anything.
I just want to point out that when you're talking about the Rams, you dropped a couple wee bombs, and after they lost to the Panthers, it was they.
Did I say they?
So,
I said they that week?
No, I don't know that you did.
No, I didn't. I don't think I did.
I just heard some wee bombs, but no.
Yeah, I'm the director of vice president of player. What was it? Udonis told that one got me. Udonis got us with
VP of basketball operations
VP of basketball
or whatever
operations.
he said. I was like, whoa.
Because I was about to call him out for using the we, and then he dropped that, and I went, oh, no, never mind. Sorry, sir.
I guess you are. Yeah, you could say we. But then the Packers and the Bears. Let's see. I walk away. I mean, the Packers.
What a game.
If Jordan Love shows up, like they're also extremely difficult to beat. A couple things I took away from that game. One, it keeps happening. So I guess we're just gonna say that he doesn't have inconsistencies, but it's like Jordan Love off his back foot. He's unbelievable. He's more accurate when he throws off balance. Like even if it's a clean pocket, once you see him leaning back and throwing that football, and then Christian Watson. I mean, Tony Gonzalez and I were having a conversation when they signed him to an extension this year of like, Tony loves him. And I'm like, I don't know. He's been hurt quite a bit with the hamstrings, and is he a difference maker? He's been a huge difference maker for them. And they finally got Jaden Reed back, which is going to just unlock a lot of things in that offense. They're deep. They're talented. And I thought Caleb Williams.
Oh my dude!
I just thought it was funny going into the game. Micah was like, he's going to get after Caleb, and Caleb Williams on the football field, and we got to see it live and in person a few weeks ago. Is so fast. He's a magician in the pocket, which was the biggest takeaway I had from watching his film. And when he starts to scramble, he is so fast. And I actually had a little bit of I told I think I was sitting next to my dad watching the game. I said, this dude throws better on the run than anybody in the NFL. And then immediately after that, the announcers said, boy, he's terrible on the run. Because I think his completion percentage is not very good. He overthrows and whatever. But if you watch the skill that he has outside the pocket in some of these throws, it is insane. He's another guy, though. You just love to see it happen more as the design of the play or the structure of the play. And we praise Josh Allen for all these crazy things. And Caleb makes some good plays too. But I would just like to see Caleb a little bit more. What was the play that was designed? Let's see if it can be executed that way. I think that's the next step that he has to take. But Monangai, when he came up on our desk, he's not a very big guy, but he is a physical runner. It is impressive to watch him play. I'm a really big fan of his because he is not the Derrick Henry type. I would say almost like he's stout, but wasn't a huge dude. But man, it's fun watching him run the football.
It is. I think that really for me, this game lived up to what we all hoped. I think that, I walked away from the game and I go, you know what? They almost did it. I mean, Ben Johnson almost went in there and won after the press conference, after everything. I thought when they had the ball down there, I'm like, they're going for 2 for sure. They're about to walk out of here with a win in Lambeau, in cold. I mean, everything that you'd go, what are all the advantages of Lambeau? It's a huge game in Lambeau. It's freezing cold. You don't go to Lambeau and win. They're about to pull it off, and they come up short. But I did walk away from it and go, I think Ben Johnson's for real, man. All this season long, there's been plenty that you go, man, I love this dude. I think he's really special. I've kind of talked about ad nauseum about, really the moves he made and really everything he's done. I see a really special football coach, and the upside for the Chicago Bears, in my opinion, is through the roof. I'm really excited about where they're going to go. But this dude's for real. And then Really happy. I texted him last night from Matt LaFleur too, because you talking about a guy that's taken it a little bit this year with some of the injuries they had. People starting to ask whether the offense is struggling, and is it Jordan Love? Is it him? Like all this, people wanting more. And then this dude wins another huge game, got another opportunity now to win this division and really cement himself there. I mean, playing, honestly, he's in a year where it's like, are they going to extend him? Are they not? What is the situation going forward? The future of the Green Bay Packers. Really happy for him, man, because he's a great football coach. I've always been super impressed with the job he's done there. And for them to finally be getting healthy right here in this moment, I'm excited about too. And then you talked about Caleb, and I want to say, dude, watching Micah Parsons absolutely work his ass off to try and get to this dude. I mean, dude, it was unbelievable. He's like beating the right tackle, working the edge, coming back underneath, still chasing, no hesitation, no pull up. He never thinks like, oh man, he's out of the pocket. You see a lot of D linemen kind of pull up in those situations. He just runs, and it is fun to watch, man, because that starts to become infectious to your group. And I'm kind of interested. I think Green Bay may be better than we think and might be a little bit of a sleeper in the NFC in the sense of, we all started the year thinking they were good. I think people have kind of forgotten about them a little bit. And you think of a team that could throw up some of those balls with the skill guys they have against a Seattle or against the Rams, where the Rams have struggled some in coverage. Like, I think they actually match up, in a head-to-head better than we may think against a team like Seattle and LA. So I'm excited about where the Packers are headed.
Yeah, and Jaden Reed, I'm telling you, he's a big part of this offense. It's nice to have him back, and with the speed sweeps and all the different things that he does for the game. And then the Caleb Williams, the throw that he missed that was intercepted at the end of the game is the same throw that he made against the Eagles.
Yep.
I mean, he obviously can make that throw. And then the last thing is I think LaFleur – they got to play him again, right?
Yep.
And so LaFleur didn't want to go all in on the handshake. He couldn't go all in on the handshake. It's just a brief, whatever. But I have to think if they beat him again, that it's going to be a little bit more of a demonstrative.
Well, think about where we're at right now, Fitz. The Bears just went from 1 seed to 7 seed.
Insane.
The next time they beat them, to your point, it may be you're out of the playoffs if they win next time. And it's like, I can imagine that handshake is going to be a little different than this one was.
I'm just looking at that. Yeah, because, Detroit, I'll tell you what, man, that game that we had with Detroit, how special. Two guys, it was like coming out of that game. Dan Campbell is a special head coach, and Amon-Ra St. Brown is a special football player.
My kids are getting St. Brown jerseys for Christmas. I mean, I love this dude. I mean, I told you, I'm texting our producer. He comes out on the field and starts warming up, and I go, I need to change my pick. He's like, we can't change it now. We can't change it now. I'm like, damn it. Like, I thought he wasn't playing. And then you see him jumping around, the intent he had. I was like, wow, what a special dude. And the way he goes out and plays through it. And Jared Goff, you remember, they come up on our desk. We have them up, after the game. And hang out with us. And the first thing, dude, is Jared comes up and he goes, hey, man, what about this dude, bro? Nobody else in the league. He's like, nobody else in the league plays but this guy. Yeah. And I'm like, wow, that's really cool to hear your quarterback say, just what he means to that football team in a lot of different ways. That was a special game, man.
Well, but it was also, it wasn't just like, all right, I'm going to come back on third down. I'm going to try to give you a boost. It was first, second, third down. It was not just pass plays. He was in there blocking his ass off. That was inspiring. And then it's so funny, that game. I know we had all the Sherm, George Pickens stuff afterwards, but it's like you look at George Pickens is an alien of a human being and a tremendous talent. And when you, with these little kids now, 7-on-7 versus tackle football, they're not the same game. So when we say, oh, my son plays football, all right, your son plays flag football, 7-on-7, great. Or now in high school, they do all these tournaments and all these different things. There's a difference between a kid that can stand out and is good at 7-on-7 and touch their flag football and an actual tackle football player. They're two different games. Amon-Ra St. Brown, it's like if you are starting a team and you can pick any wide receiver in the NFL, he has to make that list of top 5 dudes. He's in the top 5 for sure of receivers in the NFL that you want if you're starting a football team. And it's not just the in shorts, makes great plays, fast. He's an absolute stud on the football field, and he means so much to that team and the personality of that team, and that was a huge, huge win for them. And I hope that they get into the playoffs because I really enjoy watching Detroit play football.
I agree, man. That was a special game, and it's funny how we have these weeks, and it's one of the coolest parts of our job is you get to be close enough to feel the emotions and the energy of not just what people got to watch on TV, but then after the game, him and Jared and the emotions of that and what went on, and then seeing some of the guys in the tunnels were leaving, and you just become even bigger fans of the players, the people, even the cities. Fitz, let's touch on Detroit for one second. Detroit, baby, making a comeback. I mean, I was impressed. If you haven't been
to Detroit in the last 5 to 10 years, and I had
Downtown
not been
Detroit,
in the city
baby.
And walked around, it was impressive. It was super clean. It was beautiful. They had so many cool buildings. They had a couple new buildings, but a lot of the buildings, we saw some breweries and some cool restaurants and things that they had made up from maybe, places that weren't necessarily that 10, 15, 20 years ago. But you got in a day earlier than I did, and you were hyping it up, and I didn't know if it was going to live up to the hype. And we took a little walk around in the snow with the Christmas lights and the ambiance going.
Oh, don't tell them
special city.
That sounded romantic for a minute there.
Was a little bit. A little bit.
I had a romantic moment with you, but it was special. It was really good, man. That was a fun. I don't think I expected much out of the city of Detroit, other than I thought the game would be awesome. But we hadn't been downtown. It's our first year staying downtown. That was awesome. So shout out to Detroit.
The other thing we got to touch base on is post game. We usually like to just unwind, have a few cocktails, awesome. And so it was great. Yeah, I'm sure you thought it was great. There's a speakeasy in the hotel we went in, and the Amazon crew had the whole place, and probably 40 people, 50 people in there. And Whit and I walk in together and, go to say hi to everybody, grab a little slider, little hand foods and appetizers, get a drink. And I turn around and where's Andrew Whitworth? Oh, the Irish goodbye. You were out of there. We still haven't talked about it. Like,
a little grab and go.
You weren't going to tell me? You just made that decision, like when we walked in, that was the end?
All right, listen. So first off, I grabbed a couple sliders, and then you didn't describe this place right to everybody. I could barely stand up in this place. It's great speakeasy, but I'm like crunched over because it's really low ceilings. I can barely see everybody because I'm like trying to look underneath all the tiki stuff hanging, and I'm like, all right, we're super crowded. I'm hunched over right now. You made your way over, and you were talking to T-Man, actually, and I mean, you were just sucking yourself over your TV call, over your radio call on Westwood One. And so I was like, all right, he's going to spend 30 minutes talking about how good of a call. I looked it back, and actually, I think I did a good job. Anyways, so you were doing that the whole thing. I'm like, I'm not going to listen to this guy talk about his radio call all day. And then I couldn't even get to the other area because there's so many people. And I was like, you know what? I'm grabbing some sliders. I'm getting the hell out of here. I'm going to get some sleep. So it was a great call by me. I got plenty of rest. Mm-hmm. And I heard you might have gotten yourself almost in like a little trouble there. Were you mischievous later? What happened?
Well, so earlier that day, you did see we had a beverage there, and I got the drink was holiday
awesome. I got the
eggnog,
picture.
Whatever. You got the picture. We'll show you guys, but it was like a Santa mug that was really cool. But I just thought at the end of the night, 2 a.m., there's tiki stuff everywhere. Yep. Maybe it was 2:30. I used to, and this is kind of a weird thing, but I used to collect African masks.
Okay.
Like, and my mom loved me so much, she would put them up in the house. And, we had one in the bathroom. And anyway, I saw this tiki thing that I really enjoyed. So I thought, you know what? Let's go ahead and add this to the memorabilia. And I showed him, and I waved to him, and I walked out, the bartender, and said, oh, thank you guys. I'm sure we got a nice tip from Amazon. And if I didn't get chased down in that lobby, woo, there was a lady that was not happy that I walked away with one of the 300 tiki faces that they had in there. So yes, I gave it back. I wasn't trying to steal it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that we had a confrontation in the lobby at 2:30 in the morning, but that was one of those nights. It was a great night just to unwind and talk to everybody. Sans you were out of there, but we ended up, I think in the lobby, just kind of, after that got shut down, they stopped serving people, me and a couple others, Spoon, Muir, Amy talking till Kaiser till 4 a.m. and then that your car comes and picks you up to bring you to the airport at 6, and you're going, what did I just do? Like, why did I just get an hour and a half of sleep? But those are the days once the season ends that we're certainly going to miss being able to hang out and spend with each other.
I don't know if we're doing this today, but you know who just kicked the door open to my room?
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
I want you to see who just kicked my door open.
I'm so tired of Baltimore and losing to the Steelers.
Come here, buddy. This guy just kicked my door open. I think he just wanted to come in here and say, what's up? So hey, you want to tell me anything you want to tell Fitz?
Is that how he always breathes? He sounds like that always?
Yeah. He said, I beat your ass, Fitz. That's what he said. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about, baby.
I think he won,
baby. 4-1.
4-1?
He went 4-1, I think. Yeah.
I think he went 3-2.
Did he go 3-2? Who did he lose?
He won the Miami game. He won the Steelers game.
Won the Jags? Did we go Jags?
Won the Jags game.
And then he won Buffalo. He went 4-1.
Oh, jeez. Yeah,
he went 4-1, baby. Tell him, Hank. Talk to him.
I went 2-3. Well, let's don't do it this week because I'm not prepared. We'll do it next week because I need to catch back up. But it shows you how much I know about picking football games. That's great.
Big Whit Energy this week, Fitz.
Yeah. Who do we got?
Well, we actually got, one of your former teams, Miami Dolphins. Okay. Big Whit Energy is going to Aaron Brewer. This dude has played out of his mind all season. I've talked to you about him earlier this year about how great I thought he was playing. He's one of the guys that when we talk about this new Protector of the Year award, his name comes up a lot in these meetings just because of the season he's had, regardless of how Miami's year's gone. He has played some dominant football. And if you turn the New York Jets tape on, this dude is locking people up, making some amazing plays out in space. Like any center guard that wants to talk about, hey, when you get out in space, you want to see what it looks like and being an athlete out there. This dude finishes people. He has some unreal blocks. I'm telling you, you'd have a lot of fun. Even as a quarterback, you'd have a lot of fun going and watching Aaron Brewer play some football, man. This dude's a special football player, and he is having a special year. And I don't care what your team's record is, you deserve to be acknowledged for how good you're playing, man. So you're Big Whit Energy of the week, baby.
Hey, Mr. Brewer. You know what, though? They have the same record as the Chiefs. They're 6-7 now, baby.
We got a chance.
And who knows?
We got a chance.
Who knows what's going to happen? Maybe they beat New England to give Buffalo the division in Week 18. We'll see. But yeah, they've certainly turned it around. I know he's a huge part of it because them running the football has been pretty special the last few weeks. So he is a guy I got to admit I didn't know a ton about going into the season, and every week you're in my ear going, you got to watch this. Oh my God, watch this play, watch this dude. So
I do want to say this, Fitz, regardless of how the year finishes for them. You and I have been on teams where how one year kind of leads to another. I think it's interesting that a little bit of like this, I have seen a clear intention to be more physical and to kind of create in the run game, not just by some of the theatrics, but some of the just, hey, man, physical violence that we're going to play with in the run game a little bit. There's been a little bit of a different feel to how the Dolphins have played since we had them earlier in the year. And really, we've always said, like, who are you outside of some of the other stuff that we see? I'm interested how they close the season. And then next year, is there a little bit of a different Dolphins offense with some of that sprinkled into it? I'm excited to see where they go from here. I think this may be one of those things where we always talk about how does your team defend your coach? Let's think about what everyone was saying about them and the head coach and everything and how they've played since then. It feels like there's been a little bit of a turn there. And so with Anthony Weaver, all those guys, we've heard all the stuff and the talk that the intentions and mentality of how they're trying to finish the season. There's been a turn there, and I'm interested to see where it goes from here.
Yeah, and I've never why other than I guess firing the GM. We fired Chris Greer, so we turn our season around. Why? The firing of Chris Greer, the only thing to me, mentally that it could have done was if you're choosing one or the other, it's all right, we're backing McDaniel as the coach. We're getting rid of the GM. And that has helped the players turn around. I think softer schedule, sure, has helped the players turn around. But you're right. We've been on, and I think back to 2008, which was the year that Carson gets hurt and we're together in Cincy and we start 0-7 or whatever it was and then finish that year 4-3-1 and the next year you guys find yourself in the playoffs.
Yep.
Sometimes it does matter, and sometimes catching a little bit of an identity and catching a little bit of momentum at the end of a season does carry over to the next. We'll see if that happens with Miami. But to think that they're at the same record as the Chiefs right now, especially after the way the season started, is pretty wild to think about.
Yeah.
All right. Well, your big Whit energy. I love that. You know what? I wanted to comment. I got to find the article real quick, Whit. I don't know if you have it handy, but actually, you know what? My dad texted to me.
You were, yeah. Well, actually, I was going to give you the big Whit energy of the week just based off this article. I didn't actually realize, and I referenced this earlier, like you're everybody's favorite bear. I find this interesting.
I didn't really know what that term meant when I opened. My dad sends me an article, and it says Ryan Fitzpatrick is the NFL's new favorite bear, and he never even played in Chicago.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm intrigued. What does this mean?
Well, yeah,
Andrew?
like the Bears fans wish you'd have played there. I think that's what it means, right?
He shed his top and rubbed nipples with fans in the stands in what was one of the gayest sights to behold in the NFL this season. He's a throwback to a specific type of white straight man archetype that isn't seen as often anymore. Chest hair and purple sports coats make him look like he'd be a better fit in an episode of Hawaii Five-0 than the NFL. Too bad Fitz wasn't born a gay man. The forested front and beer belly below would make him the quintessential bear on Grindr or Scruff.
Look at you, man. I'm proud of you, buddy. Father. That's kind of like big winner energy of the week. You're just like the favorite bear of the week.
Yeah. And my dad said, I must admit, I never thought I would read this in an article, but congrats.
I'm proud of you, man. Look at you.
Thank you. Yeah. I don't know if I'll get a trophy for it or if I just need to print out the article and frame it for the kids to see or where we go from here. But I'm a little upset I didn't win Big Whit Energy. I get that Aaron Brewer's having a great year, but
I mean, listen.
Runner up.
Yeah, maybe this is a new category. Beer of the week. Bear of the week, I should say. This next segment is presented by DraftKings. The crown is yours. Okay, Beardos, another week of NFL action means another week to win big.
We're moving on to Week 15, Whit. We're each going to pick our top 3 locks for players in Week 15's games on DraftKings. Let me give you my first one because I don't want you to take it from me. I'm going to go Jamar Chase Moore for touchdowns against the Ravens. He's been huge against the Ravens in recent years.
All right, I'll match you. Let me see. I'm going to go, because we're having Arik Armstead on the podcast, I'm going to, Jacoby Myers for the Jaguars. I'm going to go more on touchdowns. Go get us one, Jacoby, please.
I like that. And he said he's had quite a few touchdowns the last few weeks. All right, I'm going to go. This is going to juice it a little bit. I actually believe in this one. I think I saw 2 weeks ago a little bit of a wink and like a headbutt. Keon Coleman is getting in the end zone against the Patriots for Josh Allen and the Bills. I'm going to go more Keon Coleman. Let's juice these odds, baby.
Ooh, I like that. I'm going to go with a guy who played good this weekend, and I think he's going to get him another one going against the Cardinals. Nico Collins. I think we're going to get him in the end zone. Touchdown, Nico Collins more.
All right, and I am going to ride that Arik Armstead wave as well, and I'm going more for Travis Etienne. He's putting together a great season this year.
Let's see. I'm going to stay with the more in touchdowns, but this time I'm going to go to a running back. I'm going DeAndre Swift behind this Chicago Bears offensive line. They've got it rolling. I think they get the run game going again, and he's going to get in the end zone.
Nice. All right. Well, you know the game. Now make it pay. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code Fitz and Whit. That's code Fitz, A-N-D, Whit. Play just $5 and get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Make the call, ride the upside in partnership with DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 plus age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction.
Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. One per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 bonus picks that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos. You know, we're getting closer and closer to the playoffs, and that means players really have to lock in.
Well, Fitz, I've got some great news for you then.
Ooh, what's that?
For whatever mindset you're in, Rose Sparks can help you keep your bedroom game locked in and help you channel that championship winning feeling, if you know what I mean.
No, that is not what I...
Well, I mean, listen, I'm not a real Rose Sparks user, but I am excited to tell you what it's all about.
Rose Sparks are a 2-in-1 prescription treatment for guys who want harder and more controlled erections.
Ah.
You can be more controlled and you can be harder, Whit. They hit the bloodstream fast because they dissolve under the tongue. And getting hard fast means there's less waiting to perform.
Well, plus its dual action formula stays active in your system for up to 36 hours. Ooh. So you can be ready for round number 2. Even the morning after.
If prescribed, new sexual health patients get $15 off their first order of Sparks on a recurring plan.
Yeah, connect with a provider at ro.co/Fitz and Whit to find out if prescription Rose Sparks are right for you. That's ro.co/Fitz and Whit for $15 off your first order.
Sparks is a compounded drug product. Compounded drugs are permitted to be prescribed under federal law, but are not FDA approved and do not undergo FDA safety effectiveness or manufacturing review. For full safety information, go to ro.co/safety info. You know, Whit, I've been making some changes to my diet.
Oh boy, what made you do that?
Well, the holidays are coming up, as you know, and I need to find a way to balance my diet because I'm not giving up on any of the snacks that I've been looking forward to.
So I started.
Exactly. I started drinking AG1 to get a full spectrum of micronutrients from whole foods to start filling nutrition gaps.
Well, now I have to know more, Fitz.
Okay, well, AG1 is the daily health drink that combines your multivitamin, pre- and probiotics, superfoods, and antioxidants into one simple green scoop.
That sounds like one of the easiest things you can do to support your body in every day.
Oh, you know how I like supporting my body, baby. And everyone knows the end of the year can bring some stress and disrupt your routine. That's why it's even more important to have prebiotics, probiotics, and enzymes to support that gut resilience.
We do all know that. When I need a product like this, it's definitely the one I'd use.
AG1 has their best offer ever. If you head to drinkag1.com/FW, you'll get the welcome kit, a morning person hat, a bottle of vitamin D3 plus K2, an AG1 flavor sampler, and you'll get to try their new sleep supplement, AGZ, for free, which has been a game changer for my nightly routine. That's drinkag1.com/FW for $126 in free gifts for new subscribers. Every yard, every sack, every interception, and every touchdown with Pick 6, DraftKings' newest game. Every snap can turn into a big-time payout. This isn't just watching the game. This is playing to win. Here's how it works.
Pick more or less on 2 or more player stats. The better your picks, the bigger your payout. It's that simple. Pick 6 gives you more upside than any of those other pick'em sites, and it's available in most states, including Texas, California, Georgia, Missouri, and more. Go bold, go big, and start stacking wins with Pick 6 from DraftKings, where every pick can pay off huge.
And here's a kickoff bonus. New DraftKings customers get $50 in Pick 6 credits with just a $5 entry on your first pick set. You know the game. Now make it pay. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code Fitz and Whit. That's code Fitz, A-N-D, Whit. Play just $5 and get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Make the call, ride the upside in partnership with DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 plus age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction.
Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 bonus picks that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
Our guest today was a 17th overall pick out of Oregon, an 11-year NFL vet, a Walter Payton Man of the Year winner. I'll have to tell my wimpy story, and a defensive end for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Give a big Fitz and Whit welcome to Arik Armstead, baby.
Yo.
Let's
up,
go.
Dude? How we feeling after the big win yesterday?
Feeling good. Definitely was a big game with playoff implications, division. Around this time of the year, the games get bigger and bigger, and I'm happy that we're playing meaningful football. It was a goal of mine when I came here,
right,
to play meaningful football, and we didn't do that last year, but to be doing that this year and with the new group of guys, it's pretty cool because a lot of these guys haven't experienced that. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, you bring that up. That's a great topic there, because I think of it like when I left Cincinnati, it's like, you come to LA and the Sean McVay and the change there, and you obviously at that point in your career, like it's just about trying to go chase wins and have an opportunity to do something special as a football team. So I'm sure for you, quite a grind, right? To make that change and not go the way you wanted. And then in walks the door is Liam Coen, and there's this new energy to you guys. And for right now, at this point in the season, have an opportunity to go do that. That's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, it's been awesome. My mindset whenever I'm on a team or enter a new space is like to make it better. And so that was my goal coming here, was to, bring that pedigree of football caliber and, making playoff runs and, going to Super Bowls, and try to bring some of that experience to us. And it's been good. It's been a fun ride, full of ups and downs like every season provides. But I'm happy we're in a good space. 4 games left, with our goals right in front of us.
What has Coach Coen, weird to call him Coach Coen, we'll call him Liam. What has Liam Coen brought to this football team this year?
Liam's been awesome. I think the process and the journey, they're all first timers. Liam, coordinators, GM, Tony Baselli, first time in the front office. So they're all first timers. And with that, it's all a growth process.
Yep.
I witnessed that with Shanahan and Lynch coming in together and, building what we built there, and, being a part of that growth process. And, I think the thing that he's brought is, he's brought that energy, that youthful energy of it being your first time and really wanting it to go the right way. Leaving no stone unturned, making sure you're doing everything you can to change where this organization has been. And it's been a lot of fun. He brings energy. He brings a sense of togetherness for our team and a culture that he's trying to establish, which, always takes a little bit of time. But, the main message for me that I love, he talks about playing with the edge, and not necessarily the edge that you might think of out there, playing with the edge, playing, violent and physical, which we do, but your edge is what you as an individual bring to the team that makes us special as a group. And so leaning into that and not let anybody take that from you, of what you as an individual bring to the team and what makes us special, I think is resonates with me, of like, how can I help make this team be successful and help us win? So it's been great.
Yeah, you say that about like what makes you unique and special. It's so funny when he gets the introductory press conference and the whole Duval moment happens, right? I loved it because having been with them since, LA Rams, even when he first started there, and he's helping out in the receiver rooms and with them with quarterbacks and all that, like anybody that knows Liam is like, he wasn't trying to impress anybody. He's Liam. Like, he is just so like in the moment himself. He could care less if you make fun of him. He could care less if you agree with him. Like, he's just going to continue to like passionately go after things that he wants to be successful at. And I always relate him to like the air up boxing dummies with sand in the bottom. Like, you can knock them down and they're just going to bounce right back up. Like, Liam's got that kind of personality. Like, he is the epitome of somebody who's like going to shoot their shot. You know what I mean? Like, he is always going to bring it and do that. And he can be goofy. He can be cheesy. He can be over the top passionate. He can be everything. And I see you laughing and you know it, but it's like, I love that about him. Like, I think you almost like start to love the fact that like he is just himself all the time.
Yeah. I mean, you got to be authentic. That's the only thing that resonates, with a group and a room full of men, is being authentic in yourself. And like you said, he is that. He's not afraid to show his emotions, not afraid to,
Yep.
Be himself and put it all out there and, live with the results. So, having a leader like that is someone that you appreciate.
I'm curious, when you referred back to your San Francisco days, you referred to the coaches as Shanahan and GM as Lynch, not John and Kyle, but you refer to Coen as Liam. Now, I got to the point, I played 17, Whit played 16 years. You get to the point at somewhere in your career where you start calling coaches by their first name, because they become more peers to you than like that player-coach relationship. where in your career did you feel comfortable enough to start calling like your position coach by his first name?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, I do. It's interesting. I said Lynch and Shanahan. I do call them Kyle and John when I'm talking to them. But when did that start? I think with my coach, it's always coach and first name. I think it's kind of always
Okay.
Yeah.
or if they go by a last name that's prominent, everyone calls them coach, either last name or first name. That's just where I stick it at. Like it's just kind of just stayed there my whole career, and so I think it's there. But in terms of a GM, you don't call them general manager so and so.
Yeah.
Say their name. So going into I'm in year 11. I've been in this thing longer than some of my coaches and front office staff. So I kind of feel like we're a little more on that level of peers and first name basis.
Yeah, I was definitely that way at the end when I got to LA. It's like all the guys on the team I was way too old to be close with. So like all the coaches were like, I look at Liam and them were even babies compared to me. I was the oldest guy on the staff outside of Wade Phillips, I think, in the whole room. So you start to feel that way. And it's funny you say that because Sean actually did that. He addressed me as Andrew one time in a meeting, and the whole team just like looked around like, who the fuck is he talking about? Like, who's Andrew? But it does get to be like that, right? Like it is interesting. Like when you look at this year right now, though, Arik, you talked about going back to San Francisco and the success you had. You guys, we were just talking to Richard Sherman this morning about how freaking good you guys were together. And he was talking about how easy his life was sitting back there with you guys up front. But when you look at it right now, we're in this position. We got a chance to go win our division. We got a chance to go make a run in the playoffs. What's the advice or the wisdom you're giving to those young guys about this next month and what it's like in the league when you're in the heat of the competition?
Yeah, it's pretty cool because Sherm, really was that for our team then. He joined us in 2018 when, we weren't very good and we needed to learn a lot. We needed leadership. We needed someone with experience who has been in these positions before. And I remember when we got good in 2019 and, we got rolling, Sherm's message was just, hey, I remember early in the season, I was like, dang, we're doing pretty good right now. And he's like, hey, man, we just keep playing solid football, keep executing at a high level. You look up, we're going to be in the Super Bowl. And at the beginning of the year, I'm like, bro, we've been pretty bad. Like, it's just going to be that easy. And then next thing you know, we're first seed and, NFC Championship blew them out. And then we're in the Super Bowl. So having someone that had been there and done it was cool to see, and kind of being that younger player, and Sherm was that. So that's what I'm trying to bring here. Is like when we get in these situations and these experiences, it's going to be a lot of first timers, and I'm just going to have to explain to them, it's just football at the end of the day. Let's continue to take it week by week, lock in and focus on the details, and as the season progresses, we're entering December now. Teams have weeks and weeks of film on you. They know what you do to a T. And so it's going to really come down to executing, late in the season and as we enter the playoffs. So that's just what I want to bring, and bring a playmaker on the field too. Guys resonate with guys that make plays. So
I think it's a great balance of somebody like you who obviously can still play at a really high level, but your experience and the wealth of knowledge you have. Then sometimes for me, as I got later in my career, it's like that youthful energy, all the guys that are young and dumb and don't know any better and just fly, especially on the defensive side of the football, flying around and making plays. You guys have done a great job this year turning the ball over on defense. What has made your defense so opportunistic, and what makes you guys so special?
First, we're really talented. We have a ton of awesome players, talented guys in the front, second level and in the back end, guys that, have had a lot of success as well too. And we have a good mixture of young guys and a good mixture of, guys that have been in the league for a little bit and playing, made a bunch of plays themselves too. So I think that's key is having talent at every level of the defense. And, I think what really allows you to play fast and get turnovers and make plays is when you know what you're doing and you keep it simple. I think, you know, in the beginning of the season, we were keeping it simple, playing fast, had a little bit of a lull. And then we found ourselves again recently of just playing simple, getting lined up, executing the call, and, you know, letting our talent show. And guys are flying around and making a ton of plays in that belief, and that we're going to go out there and stop whoever's out there. So it's been a lot of fun. There's a lot of guys on this defense that are about to get big bags. Guys been balling out. Devin Lloyd, Foyer, man, Trayvon Walker, he's about to get a crazy bag. Man, guys on the back end, Antonio Johnson really stepped up this year, young guy. So it's been really cool and fun to see, and, you know, see that maturation process too for the younger guys. Like, man, you know, we have some work to do, but, you know, it's coming together for you now.
I love that, man. You talking about that youthful energy and everything, and Devin Lloyd, I think this guy had to have played running back at some point, right? Every time I see this dude with the football, he looks like he's trying to, he gets the football, he ain't going down. Like, he's cutting all the way back across the field. He's making people miss. Like, he looks like he enjoys trying to tote it. But I would say this, Arik, one of the things I used to always say when I was with every team, and I want to see where your head's at with this, if you feel me on this. So I always called this, Fitz has heard me give this presentation many times. When we get to December, all right, instead of the bells ringing at Christmas time, all that good stuff, I call it key jingling season. All right. And what I mean by that is this time of year, I don't care if you're on a winning team. I don't care if you're on a losing team. At some point, you've thought a little bit about what you're going to do in February and March and April and where you might be going, a vacation, a thing you might, those keys are starting to jingle in your pocket a little bit about getting in your car and leaving, or maybe locking up the apartment or the condo and heading to the off season. So I always say, when I was in rooms, I started in Cincinnati. Obviously, you play in the AFC North. It's cold as shit, and it's physical football that time of year. I used to always say, this is the time of year where you got to go out with the approach to make the other team jingle those keys. You got to make them think about it at some point in the game. I'm going to bring energy, effort, and I'm going to make that dude start thinking about, man, I wonder what time that Delta flight leaves on January 7th and 8th. You know, like what time I can get out of here and get to some warm weather. It's key jingling season, baby. You got to make them jingle keys and a lot of belly rubs. And I know you know what I'm saying, because that's what happens this time of year. It's the guys that want to be there longer that start having more success.
No, that's facts. You're definitely on point with that. You know, as you get to this point in the season, some people season, you know, it's kind of over with, and, you know, they're just trying to get by. And then there's teams like us that, you know, have a real shot and a real chance. And we did the work early in the season to put ourselves in position to be here. And now's the time to put your foot on the pedal and keep going. You know, my message is like, we really haven't done nothing yet, to be honest with you. You know, like, if we stop here, it's like, okay, well, that was cool, you know, for a few weeks, but we really haven't done nothing yet. And so we really haven't changed the narrative about our organization yet. We really haven't changed the narrative about our team and our players and what we're capable of. And so we got a lot more to do, and now is not the time to rest. But for some other teams, it's not the case. And when you play against those teams, you know, you got to keep your foot on the pedal even more. Like,
they're getting that rah-rah speech all week. Like, hey, let's go hit these guys. Let's ruin their season.
Like, they're trying to ruin your season. And it's true. Jeffrey Simmons said that last week. He was like, you know, Jaguars are gearing up for the playoffs, so hopefully we can ruin their season. And so that's a mentality for some of the other teams that you're going to play against. It's like, let me see what I can do, try to ruin their season. But no, you got to keep your foot on the pedal, and keep going and stay focused. And now's the time when you gotta ratchet that up even more. I feel like, and you know, when I'm entering, I love this time of year when you are in contention, obviously. But I love this time of year and entering December and into the playoffs, because, you know, everything gets heightened. And my main focus each week was earn another week with my brothers, earn another game. You know, I don't want our season to end. Everything I can do to will my team to another game. And you know, I feel like I play better when I'm competing for that deeper sense of purpose. And that's why I've had a lot of success in the playoffs and around this time of the season. So it's a lot of fun. There's nothing like December in playoff football in the NFL.
What about your offense? Have you seen a difference this year? Maybe just Trevor Lawrence confidence, or how they're communicating and how they're playing as opposed to last year?
Yeah, I think it's been a whole ton better. That's Liam's area of expertise was really establishing the run game and finding a balance of run and pass, keeping the team defense on their toes, and moving the pocket with Trevor. And, attacking down the field. We have a lot of deep threat options as well, too. And so I think we saw in this last game versus the Colts truly what, establishing a run game and then being able to take those shots down the field with a guy like BTJ and Jacoby and some of our other receivers as well, too. Really how that can be a potent, deadly thing for a defense when you can go 15-play drive and run it down your throat, but also on this drive, now we can get explosives and score quick. I think is a recipe for success, and I definitely see it coming together. Man, Trevor has been playing outstanding, especially these past few weeks, man. And there was Josh and Trevor, Josh Hines Allen and Trevor Lawrence have been here for a while, and I was talking to Josh the other day, and he said him and Trevor was like, man, this is what we've been dreaming about, for all these years being here in Jacksonville. It's like right here in front of us. And they were talking about taking over. Those are our captains, and so we're going to follow their lead.
Does it do something for you, even though it's the offensive side of the ball? You see your organization go out and get a guy like Jacoby Myers at the trade deadline. Like, does that give you guys a little bit of juice as well?
Yeah, I think anytime you're making moves to better your team and add quality football players, especially if it's a need, it's a good feeling. Heading into when you're already in a good position, but you feel like your team is getting better, down the stretch. He's been a fantastic, addition to our team. I think he has 3 touchdowns in the last 3 games in a row. Awesome over the middle, really tough player, catches everything and willing blocker as well too. And so he adds a lot. And, when in these times of the year, when things really start tightening up, that's the type of player you need. Someone with sure hands, someone who's going to do the dirty work in the run game. And he's been awesome for our team.
I love that. Arik, obviously, you've done a lot on the football field to be successful, and you've been a part of, in San Fran, the success y'all had, and then now creating that here in Jacksonville. But the other part of it to me that I think is so special is just the human being you are off the field. As a Walter Payton Man of the Year, what's that been like since then? And really, what are some of the opportunities that have kind of opened some doors for you in that?
It's been great. I've been a part of the process. It was 5 years. I was there when you won.
Yep.
And that was awesome to see and really inspiring. And then you go on to win the Super Bowl as well too. I was like, man, this dude got a picture book ending. I'm like, man, hopefully I can.
I couldn't walk back out on the field after that. That was it. That's the best week I could have possible.
Yeah, you couldn't write that story any better. But just being inspired by all you guys previously before me, and being a part of the award even before I won it was truly a blessing. And being able to learn and be around so many guys in the NFL that are like-minded and care about our community. Really, I really feel like our league. I don't know what it is about it. If it's the nature of football or what it is, but it really breeds great men and men that care about other people besides themselves, and are willing to do the work as well too. And we have so many examples of that, and so I'm proud to honor that and continue that legacy as well too. And when I did win, that was the first thing I thought about was how this award and this platform will just open up doors to serve more youth and help more people. And that was where my focus immediately shifted towards, was how can I use this platform to even do more work. And so this past year has been great. I've worked with the NFL on a lot of different initiatives started a show called the Humanity Show, where we're highlighting stories of inspiration, hope, and philanthropic endeavors. And our nonprofit has grown too. You know, we're doing work across the country now. Continue our work in California and now in Florida too. My new home, and it's been great to continue to do the work that's needed. You know, that's never going to end. There's always a need, and continue to support other players as well too. I think since winning the award, guys have reached out to me and asked me, like, man, how are you doing this? How are you doing that? And, you know, these are some things that I want to do in my community. And one real cool initiative I'm really excited about with our organization is we started something called career camps, where we take kids to companies and teach them about different career paths that they could have and create internship opportunities. And this is a program that our organization has really made a turnkey program for other athletes or players or anyone who believes in creating pathways for youth to take themselves and do. And so we did one with Jameis in New York City this year with Bloomingdale's, which was awesome. And we've done about 15 of them throughout the year. And so really excited about that too. And the work that we're continuing to do is just continue to grow and serve more and more. You know, I started with just a free football camp my rookie year. I was like, man, that's not enough. And each year it just wasn't enough. And so I don't think it's ever going to be enough.
That's awesome that you, even after getting the award, and Whit's the same way, just your drive for helping others is really cool and it's inspirational. And getting to work with a guy like Jameis Winston, I don't know. I don't know how well you knew Jameis before you started talking to him about this, but he's an absolute character. He's a great dude.
Jameis is awesome. He's going to walk. He's entertainment gold. For
oh
real.
man,
I can't help but. So I played against Jameis, Florida State versus Oregon.
Yep.
Rose Bowl. It was a legendary game. We came out on top. So I played against him then, competed against him then, and then NFL used to do the rookie symposium. I know you guys went to that, and so that's where I met Jameis and really found out how much of a character he was. And so we're at the rookie symposium. We're in Cleveland for 3 days, and so some of the guys get together and like, man, we're here for 3 days. We gotta do something. So we go to the little hotel gym. It's like 30 guys in a little small hotel gym. And we're just all doing circuit workouts. And this man, Jameis, comes in there and he's coaching us like we're getting ready for the national championship. He's going around motivating everyone, yelling at guys, man, that's not enough. And so that was my first experience with Jameis, and we stayed connected. Obviously, we're the same class and stayed connected throughout the years. And so he's just an amazing dude, really. And I love being around him.
I got to be teammates with him for 2 years in Tampa, and I think before I got there, you see, I mean, he has the gift of gab. So you get there and you're like, gosh, I don't know about this dude. Like, is it genuine? Like, is this guy full of crap? But then you meet him and it's like he's all in all the time. He does everything 1,000 miles an hour, and he really. The thing I think that people don't understand enough about Jameis is that he really cares about football too. He absolutely loves the game. He takes it serious. He trained and studied and worked harder than anybody I've ever played with. And so he does have this huge personality, and he's goofy and he does all the different things, but like those impassioned speeches that he gives at the beginning of the game and breaking down the huddle and stuff, like truly from the heart, every single one of them. And you can feel it when he gives it. But he also had a little foray into TV this last weekend. He was on Fox. I didn't get to see a ton of it. But I got to see a little bit of it, and if he decides to do that when he's done, he's going to be able to do whatever the heck he wants.
Him and Gronk did a couple things together, and it's I mean, it's just those two. Those two are beautiful on TV together. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, those dudes are characters. So, no, James is a special dude for sure.
I was looking up your Oregon days, and I don't know. I must have just forgot this, but it was you and DeForest Buckner both for a few.
Crazy.
Like, that's not fair.
Nope.
That is not fair, bro. And then you guys got to play together. I know in San Fran, but you guys still remain close? Are you guys dudes or?
Yep, just saw him yesterday after we played the Colts, and it was good to see him. Got to talk to him for a while. Catch up on each other's lives, and we're both fathers, and a lot has life has changed a lot. But me and Defo, we came into Oregon together. We played for 3 years at Oregon. I left my junior year. He stayed his senior year, and then we played for 5 years together with the Niners. So we literally went through everything together, and it was awesome to have someone along every step of the way, really to go through different experiences with. And I remember we were roommates too in college. I just remember we used to share that we were twin beds.
Oh,
in college, everyone had to have a roommate. And I remember before we played national championship, we were just in the room all day, just watching ESPN, and they were talking about us, talking about the game, and we were just listening to all the hype all day, just chilling in the room. That was a memory I always have.
In the twin bed. Who's taller?
At the combine, I think I was 6'7", 3/4, and he's 6'7", half.
I feel like this has probably been debated a couple times since he referenced combine. He's going official. Feels like they may have had an argument or two over who's taller.
No argument. I think I don't know really. I may maybe by a smidge, but we literally twin towers.
Yeah, I well know. Many battles, Niners, Rams, you guys, unfreaking believable, man. It really is. You can see it carry on throughout your career, too, just the energy and effort that group played with. I always say this, anytime I go back and watch tape of a line, it's in my memory, I think of the way you guys, how dominant you were, the hustle you guys played with. That had to be pretty special years playing with that group, because that's about as talented as it gets up front.
No, that was great. That was great. Definitely best group I've been a part of. I think if we win that Super Bowl in 19, we find a way to win that game, I think we go down as one of the best defensive lines of all time between me, DeForest, Nick Bosa, and D Ford.
Yep.
But not just our starting four. We used to bring in Wade.
Oh, dude.
Thomas, and we had guys come up. We had guys behind us used to come in and cause havoc as well too. So I think if we win that Super Bowl in 2019, we go down as one of the greatest, but definitely super memorable years for sure playing with those guys.
I'm curious for you, just the wear and tear on the body year in, year out. Even just, can you give the listeners a glimpse of, and maybe this has changed for you over the years, but lifting during the season, what is coming in on a Monday or Tuesday look like for you and the lifting routine that you're going through?
It's changed a little bit throughout the season or throughout the years, depending on what I'm dealing with, injury wise or whatever. But typically it's been, Monday, get a good lower lift in. And I do a lot to take care of my body in terms of, I love Pilates, do a lot of Pilates. I was on a hot yoga kick when I was in the Bay, but I haven't found a good spot out here.
I was in Cincinnati. I was a hot yoga guy in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Needed it.
So I was on a hot yoga kick, and I used to love that for recovery, get all the toxins out of your body and, feel real limber and mobile. And then when I got out here, I got on Pilates a lot more, got a reformer at my house. And my instructor comes to the house. So that's a big part of my routine. And then especially on Mondays to reset my core, get everything back locked in and feeling good. And then I lift on Mondays as well too, Mondays and Tuesdays. and then I'll lift one more time later in the week, probably like Friday. It was more a little bit lighter lift, upper, and some explosive stuff. And
that's gun show Friday. I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
gotta have the arms looking good for Sunday.
Yeah.
Fitz's answer to all those things, his routine is he bought a vest, so now he just covers it up instead of so he feels like
covered up with a vest.
How do you like his look? This is new for him. He's trying to work a vest into his. That's his fashion.
His shirt off, man.
I know, man. I you know what? If you got it, flaunt it. I got a lot of chest hair and a lot of chest to show off these days. I used to really piss off my strength coach in Buffalo, Eric Ciano, because I would stop at Dunkin' Donuts on the way to the facility. I would just get that. Yeah, I love Ciano's the man.
He's in Jacksonville now. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, you gotta ask him about my lift routine when I was in Buffalo. But it usually consisted of a Dunkin' Donuts coffee that I would go around and drink in between reps and sets. And he got so mad at me all the time. But it was like, look, I'm just trying to stay healthy. I just want to be healthy during the season. That's it. Yeah. I need my coffee.
Ciano's great. He does a great job working with the vets too. Now, get my routine with him.
See, that I broke him in though. See, you can thank me for that. I had to break Ciano in a little bit.
Eric, let's talk about now. You're obviously doing this show with Michael, and how's that been? And you looking to do this as you finish your career playing? Is that something you want to get into? Is broadcasting or maybe doing your own show, kind of following your career?
Yeah. So the show is third and long. I've been doing the show for 3 years now. Did it by myself. First 2 years, 2023 and 2024 last year. And I was like, this would be a lot more fun if I got to conversate with one of my friends and someone and be able to talk football with someone. It was it did a good job, but it was hard. It's hard. I think I learned a lot talking in the basement by myself. I definitely grew a lot as a speaker, but it's been a lot more fun this year having Michael Bennett on the show and each
He's
week.
A beaut.
Man, what a interesting human being.
Dude.
I kind of handpicked Mike too because he's a mentor of mine. I met him my second year in the NFL. We went out to Hawaii. He invited us out there, me and DeForest actually, and we trained with him and brought us under his wing. And he's been a mentor of mine throughout my career. And, we built a friendship throughout the years. But I was like, man, if there's someone who is not polar opposites, but very different than my personality that I think would mesh very well and we'd be able to bring different things out of each other.
Right.
I think Mike would be that perfect combo. And it's been great. He's very opinionated.
Yep.
And we love talking football. We love D-line play, obviously. It's been great this far, and we're trying to keep it going. And in terms of, I want to play about four or five more years. John, I don't know if I'm gonna play as long as you, Whit, but I got some more left in the tank.
Yep. No doubt.
But in this space, I just want to have a voice, a say so. I feel that I want to have a place in the space and have an opinion. And so I love doing the show.
Yeah.
Love doing love getting on people's shows like you guys, like we're doing today. It's been a lot of fun. It's been awesome. And we'll see what comes after that.
Yeah, you bring it up, Michael, made me think, like, guys, how many characters of that Seattle team, like not just like how good of football players they were, but just like how unique each personality. And when you can start talking about like Sherm and you talk Cam and then you talk Marshawn Lynch, we do stuff with Marshawn Lynch all the time, Earl Thomas, Michael. It's like, it is crazy, not just how good they were, but like each one of them, some very unique personalities in those guys.
All very different. And all amazing players.
Oh,
that team.
They were so good.
That team's gonna go down in history for sure. Going to be remembered for a very long time. But Sherm is actually going to be our next guest on the show, so that's going to be really
cool.
Nice.
I can't wait.
With Mike and Sherm, being able to talk about Sherm's Niner days with me and his Seattle days with Mike,
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, ask him his thoughts on George Pickens too.
Oh boy, here we go.
No, when you were just saying all that though, it made me think of the ageless wonder Calais Campbell. And then I was wondering for you, are there guys, especially when you're younger in the league, that you look up to that you wanted to model your game after?
Calais was my player comp coming out of college in my player comparison. So our careers were kind of tied to each other and ended up being in the same division as them. I got my first career sack against the Cardinals, and I remember meeting him after the game against Carson Palmer down there. Yeah, down there in Arizona. So, that was like my first really good, it was like week 3 of my rookie year, first really good game. Played really well. And then I met Calais after the game. And he was like, "Okay, young boy, they be tagging my name in there, saying you gonna be like me."
Yep.
Not a bad impersonation there.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah, he's like, so that was a cool experience. But yeah, man, Calais opened up doors for tall defensive linemen.
Yep.
It was a time when people were like, "Are guys too tall?
Yep.
You can't play. You got to work on your leverage, and you gotta." I'm like, I be playing low. I be playing lower than 6'2" guys sometimes.
Yep.
I don't know how I do it, but my
Pilates, hot yoga. That's how.
I'm like, so he opened up doors and paved ways for tall defensive linemen and show what we were capable of, and so yeah, that was a guy I definitely looked up to. But Julius Peppers was my favorite of all time.
My first NFL start against Julius Peppers and Mike Rucker. Mike Rucker. Woo. Well, luckily Jules played on the other side the majority of the game. Thank God. But Mike Rucker was also really good. Those two together were insane for quite a stretch there in Carolina. But you brought up Carson Palmer. I was going to ask you that, it's funny where life goes. Do you know where Carson Palmer is going to be this weekend on Saturday?
No, where at?
Carson Palmer is the head coach of Santa Margarita. They won the Southern Cal Championship, and they are playing De La Salle on Saturday night for the NoCal SoCal championship of the entire state of California. Wow. He's the head coach. Yeah, he became the head coach last year. There's a lot of NFL guys coaching with him, TJ Houshmandzadeh, some other guys, and so it's really cool. Yeah, so they took over that program this year. This is their first year there, and they won the whole thing in the highest division, and now they're going to go play in the championship for the Open California Championship Saturday night. It's pretty cool, man. That's wild, awesome. Right?
Yeah, Carson Palmer, he's always going to be, he was a phenomenal player. Of course, but yeah, I'll always remember him because that was my first career sack.
That's cool. That's awesome.
You got other?
I appreciate you. I appreciate you letting me get you down, man.
You got other guys on that list, like some of your favorite sacks or guys that you were able to sack?
Definitely A-Rod. A-Rod was probably my favorite is my favorite quarterback, and I got my most career sacks versus him, and also, too, my most memorable game of my career was playing against him in the playoffs. It was like -5 in Green Bay.
Yeah, I was going to say that was a sick game.
Before we played you guys, and I had 2 sacks on him in that playoff game, and that was probably my most memorable time. And that's kind of when I feel like I started to get a lot of respect around the league as well too. And he showed love to me at NFL Honors. When you won and I saw him. And so that definitely A-Rod. And I would say him. No one else really sticks out too much, but A-Rod in terms of, being younger in California, growing up in Northern California and Sacramento, and seeing him and, then being able to play against him and then being able to get him down in big time games was definitely going to be
just maybe you'll have one more chance at sacking him this year if everything works out.
We'll see. Maybe,
but then you can start talking about him in past tense, but not yet.
Well, appreciate it, dude, man. That was awesome. Appreciate you coming on, just visiting with us a little bit.
No, this was great. I appreciate you guys having me. Like I said, big fan of the show. Love what you guys do, man.
Hey, appreciate it, man. All the best going forward. Give my boy Liam, smack him for me or something. All right, give him a little shove. Tell him Big Whit said what's up.
I got you. I will.
All right.
All right, thanks, Arik.
Appreciate you.
Baby. Wow, Arik Armstead, what a dude. If I would have known I didn't play against him a ton, but some of these guys on the defensive side of the football look so frightening in pads, and their whole goal is to throw you on the ground and tackle you and hurt you. If I would have known that he was such a nice guy, maybe I would have been less intimidated. But think about that. Think about being a 18 or 19-year-old kid playing against Oregon, and you look across and it's Arik Armstead and DeForest Buckner's. Like, what are we? And they probably both wore visors at that time too, with the sweet Nike uniforms. But what a great dude. I didn't really know him very well before that, but seems like an absolute sweetheart.
Yeah, another Walter Payton Man of the Year winner, a wimpy winner as I like to call it, my abbreviations. But yeah, dude, awesome human being. And it's been really cool to see what he's been able to build and use the platform, honestly, to only like catapult him into doing even bigger and better stuff with his foundation. And now in Jacksonville, everything he did in San Francisco and in California, now, even building it bigger and better in Jacksonville. Just a special human and a really good dude. And man, having faced those San Francisco 49er D-lines, I don't disagree with him. That was a really special group that he had in 19. It's crazy, actually, how good that team in general for the San Francisco 49ers was, to not come out on top, just a play here or there against those Chiefs. And, it's crazy they don't get recognized as a Super Bowl champion, because that was a really special football team. And he's a really special dude. So that was a fun combo. I can't wait to see Michael Bennett and Richard Sherman and him talking some Niners Seahawks. That is going to be great.
Between Michael and Martellus Bennett, those dudes, that man.
Awesome.
You're talking about a couple characters, man.
Oh, man, those pads Michael wore. Oh, so good.
Were they lacrosse pads? They were so small.
I don't know what they were. Just a jersey, basically.
My guy, Matt Turk, was a punter for a long time, and he wore lacrosse pads, and he would put them on. But it's like, all right, he's never getting hit. Michael Bennett's pads were so small. It didn't make sense. And
for a guy, all I did was hold people, so it was really hard to hold him because there wasn't anything there. I mean, it was
never
really difficult.
held, did you?
Only 99% of plays.
Just to put a button on the vest thing. So I left Phoenix in a vest and a long sleeve shirt, pushed up the sleeves, felt great walking outside, was in my jeans.
Is the vest open at this point? That's what I'm wondering.
So the vest is closed. I'm still a closed vest guy. Okay. Yeah, I'm still a closed vest guy because I think that's part of the reason I need it, is to keep it closed and to keep everything else hidden. I love how deep the pockets are in the
vest.
It's
a great spot for your hands. That's how I actually started wearing hoodies. I love the front pockets in the hoodie. Crucial.
So great spot for the hands. But then the coolest thing was, I wasn't sure when I was on the plane. I was getting a little warm. Are you allowed to take it off? And if you do take it off, like, you put it in the overhead compartment. So I just kept it on. I got a little bit sweaty, but not, unzip. Next time I'll try to unzip, because
think of that as like loosening your belt after a meal. Like, so like you just,
gotcha.
Yeah, you unzip on the plane.
Of course. So I should have unzipped, and then I go. But the cool thing was, I walked off of the plane, walked outside in Detroit, still had the same outfit I had on in Phoenix earlier that day. The snow was falling, and I felt great.
Yeah.
The heat, the comfort, I mean, the versatility of this thing. I'm now a vest guy. Let's do this. You just send a quick text to Liza to tell her what I need on my Christmas list.
Okay, I got
what
you.
Kind of vest we need to get. Make sure it's an XL, please, not a large or a double X, and we'll be good to go.
Okay, perfect.
All right. That's it, dude. That's it for us. We're going to be back next Wednesday. All the biggest news from Week 15. Exciting NFL season. Who knows what's going to happen, especially in that AFC. Fitz and Whit is a Wave original. Thank you again to Arik Armstead for joining us. Thanks to our production crew, and thanks again to all you beardos for tuning in. Send us those beards. We're interested. We will see you guys.
Is there a beard of the week when it's Christmas time, though? Because I feel like Santa's the beard, right?
Yeah, but I feel like we could find, like, maybe, I don't know if you still take your kids to the mall. If I take my kids to the mall, maybe I'll see if there's a good, actual, real, not fake beard for the beard.
Yeah, we need a good Santa beard this month.
Send us some Santa beards, please. Let's see them. All right. Thank you, guys, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.